All right, welcome to Mind Body Relationship, where we talk about the mind, the body, and the relationship. All right, I'm Dr. Laurie Ponsford Hill, and today we have a special guest, and David. Welcome.
Again, thank you. So that means I am doing something good, I guess. Because thank you, Dr. Ponsford Hill, for the invitation. And I am more than glad to be with you and just trying to give everybody who is watching right now this video some kind of tips or advice to make life a little better.
Exactly. And David, you're actually from Colombia, is that correct?
Yes,
Yeah.
I am. Yeah.
And you've been here for how long?
So far, almost 20 years. Holy,
Wow,
20 years.
20 years.
Can't believe it.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what brought you to Canada in the first place?
Well, at that time, that was on 2001, 2002, January 2002. The social situation there in my back home was not the best. My former wife at the time, her father was part of the military, the government. So he was, at that moment, he had a very high position, rank in the military, Colombian military. So he had some kind of issues, and so for that reason we have to escape.
Flee the country.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. So
Wow. And what made you decide on Canada?
that's a good question. We were just, I remember with my brother-in-law and my wife at the time, so we decided to see which country can provide the best guarantee for not only for your life, because obviously we were just running right away from Colombia, because keeping supervising, that's one of the big needs that we have. We were exploring and we found that Canada was providing the best that we need at that moment. So we decided to come. But the thing is, we didn't know at the moment that any kind of what city would be the best one for us. We just, I remember when we were traveling, we found a Colombian guy in the same aircraft. And this person was talking with us, and so we said, yeah, we are going to Canada. So he said, yeah, I live in Canada. Where are you going? And we said, no idea. So I asked him, so where do you live?
Yeah.
And he said, well, I live in London. So tell me a little more about London, Ontario. And well, he started explaining, and I said at the end of when we land. Right away said, well, honey, so we are going to London.
Oh, wow.
So that was the way, just because this guy was in the airport. So he said, well, London. So
intriguing. Isn't that coincidental?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Just because of him. So we finished in London. We have been there for a while. Yeah, that's interesting.
And how has your experience been since? Because you're a settler, aren't you?
Well, as you know, new country, new culture, new language, new friends. So when just that time for adjusting to a new system, and the most difficult, obviously, was learning a new language. At the moment when I came here,
I can't even imagine.
I wasn't able to say, well, nothing.
Really?
No,
wow.
In English, and so I have too many and interesting, funny story about that because you are scared, but gradually you start to build your self-confidence, and you find amazing people, amazing people that they just say, I am here for you and you can count on me, and that happened. I think in order to have that kind of friendship or that kind of relationship or connection, obviously it's not only about asking for that help. It's just that connection between your values and the value of that person, and we match. So
Right.
and that was good. Yeah, that was at the beginning, obviously, because my goal was this to be a counselor or psychotherapist. So I am a clinical psychologist from Colombia.
Right.
So and I felt at that moment like a big elephant. You know, I remember one day in the ESL school, the teacher asked, "What kind of animal do you relate at this moment?" And some people were saying, you know, like the typical lion, tiger, this kind of thing. I remember I said, I feel like a big, heavy elephant.
Oh.
So I said, why? Well, because I feel like I have a lot of power and knowledge and things to do, but I have to go too slow to reach the point that I know I can be productive again and doing what I used to do in Colombia. So that was my first perception of feeling like a big elephant that trying to do something quick, but obviously at that moment I wasn't able because my English was not really good.
Yeah, it's a hard transition.
It is. It is. It is. Yeah. So for that reason, anytime when I had the opportunity to meet somebody that is kind of in the same situation that I was before, I understand and I know what kind of difficulty this person most likely is just living at that point, experiencing. So exactly the same as other people help me, so I am here to help other people, and that's what I am doing right now in the counseling house. So what I was telling you about the counseling house, I have some clients that I know they are just dealing kind of the same thing. So
Oh, I can
am
imagine.
just, yeah.
How large is the population? Would you say in London, in regards to English as a second language, Spanish? You know,
Spanish,
from
You know what? It's no. Some people just they have some numbers. And other organizations like the Cross Cultural Learning Center, they have other numbers. So, but I would say that most likely between 10 or 20,000 people, probably.
Oh wow, okay,
Yeah.
that's pretty big.
Yes,
Yeah.
big. Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
Yes. And the thing is, you know, you think you already met everybody, but no, that's impossible. Every single moment that we are in any cultural special moment, like the Sunfest or the La
That's
Fiesta del Sol, that's another typical fest that we have here in London. So you find new people. You meet other Colombian or other Latino. And you say, wow, and so that means that still Canada and even London is one of those right places that people really want to come and live here and cement a big good family with the values that we have
Sounds good.
here in London. So that's. And then what else? At the beginning, so I was doing some survivor kind of jobs. You remember that I used to. I was the washer or the boy washer and the dealer washing the cars.
Oh wow.
I was delivering a newspaper boy and what else? And then I had the opportunity to work for the Genet Detention Center for Youth. I worked there for 8 years.
Wow.
And that was an extraordinary, wonderful experience for me. And then I moved to Ottawa to work for the Australian Embassy. I was there in Australian Embassy, and in 2014 I had my car accident, and the big one.
Oh dear.
I was that was a very interesting and great learning experience in my life.
Yes. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Right.
So,
wow.
yeah, too many things in 20 years.
Exactly. Well, so what was your like absolute best experience, and what was your like totally worst experience?
Wow. Well, the best one, I think, besides my to see my kids. Well, I have two kids, and they were born here in Canada. So, and besides that, I think being able to overcome all the difficulties after my car accident.
Okay.
So it's one of those moments that you find more than half people saying that he's not going to be practically sane. Most likely he's going to be just if he can walk or talk, that would be a miracle.
Wow.
And step by step I was proving myself and other people that when you have a commitment and you have a passion for doing something. So I start walking again and talking and eating and that kind of stuff.
Wow.
And so I think that was one of the best moments. It's just when I just look back and I say, wow, I was there. I can believe it. That's
Wow.
amazing. And the worst I said is, well, the car accident
The car
was one of
accident
those.
itself, yeah.
Yeah.
Everything all in one story.
Yes, everything there, yeah. But, well, now I am just too close. Well, actually, I am, but still I am just waiting for my CRPO qualifying registration. But I would say that another check in my to-do list.
In process.
It's done.
Yeah.
It's done.
Very good. Excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. And how has this whole pandemic changed things for you, or has it?
I don't know. It's a interesting question because I am one of those that I don't really believe that that's people is expecting a big change and the humanity like well, this pandemic really is going to make a human being better. I think who is a good person, I think after this is going to be a better person. And who unfortunately had decides to live a miserable life and didn't want to work at all in what he needs to change after this pandemic. He most likely is going to be more miserable than he used to be before. So I think if you didn't do nothing this time with the pandemic, when that was the time for you, so you waste your time. In my case, I just I believe and I work with my client about the value system. I think that is one of the most wonderful therapeutic strategy that we can work with our clients, because basically it's working on the system more than the specific goal, because values are multidimensional, and when you have a value like respect, so you can apply that value to all relationships, so it's multidimensional. So if I have only one goal and say, oh, I want to improve my relationship with my wife, with my kids, it's just only that goal. But when you work on values, you are working right all the time in the system to keep not only one goal, too many goals. So I like that. So for that reason, at this time, this pandemic, I think I reevaluate my values, and I was just doing the best that I could to improve or to be aligned to my values. So that's
very
what I
good.
did.
Excellent. And have you had any words of wisdom to people in particular who are struggling out there that have gone through similar experiences as you, either who are, newly Canadians or newly Londoners, or actually to people from home who are thinking about actually really, living in a different country? What words of wisdom would you have for them?
Well, this is not about who is stronger or who is the winner at the end. It's more about patient, who has more reliance and to be, resistant to. So if somebody's coming here with the idea that I need to be the first one and the strongest one, I think that need to reevaluate just that kind of thoughts and perception, because this is not about strength. It's not about being the first one. It's just resistance and tolerance and patience, and building relationships, because you don't have relationships here, good network,
right?
So who is going to to help you, or even at the moment when you are just like me, that I just finished my master's program, so it's just trying to find out, open to my community and say I am here now for you, and so how I am. So what kind of relationship you were building during those years that you finally are going to hit the goal and say I did it. So so patient, I think it's the most.
This is long-term stuff.
It is for some of us, yes, and other maybe they had the opportunity to come with some kind of the homework already done, like English. They are bilingual, or even economically they were in a good position. So, but in generally speaking, I guess even with those people, still you need to be patient and tolerant and resilient. I think that's the best what I can say.
Oh, very good. Okay, David. So, would you like to say the same thing, only in Espanol?
Okay. Bueno, nuevamente gracias Dr. Professor Hill por tenerme aquí. Muy a gusto de estar nuevamente en su programa. Y básicamente estuvimos hablando sobre cómo fue mi experiencia en Canadá, qué me trajo aquí a Canadá, y estuvimos explorando algunos momentos interesantes de mi vida. Llevo casi 20 años, 20 years here. That's wow, it's a good time. Y he tenido varias experiencias. La primera, la más importante, el inglés. Aprender inglés no fue nada fácil. Pero siento y pienso que siendo paciente, tolerante ante las adversidades, te va a permitir a ti al final alcanzar las metas que tú quieres. He pasado por muchas circunstancias que me dejaron algo, aprendí algo, un accidente automovilístico, el adaptarme a una nueva sociedad con un nuevo lenguaje, pero al final pienso que valió la pena. La fe en que todo va a ir muy bien, y si eres una persona creyente, tu fe en Dios, como lo soy yo, y aquí estamos, después de 20 años ya siendo psicoterapeuta, y con muchas ganas de seguir trabajando por lo que me gusta, la pasión que tengo de poder servir a los demás.
Wow. Bueno.
Buenísimo.
Gracias.
Con mucho gusto. Está aprendiendo rápido español.
Oh dear. Well, thank you, David, for joining us. Yes, and thank you for joining us.
You're very welcome. Thank you
Yeah,
for
and-
having me again, and I enjoy a lot.
Ah, well
You
then that's
invite me.
good. Yes. And thank you for joining us. And if you like this video, just give us a like and please subscribe. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to email. And bye for now.
Bye.